Hello, Jayhawks fans. Welcome back to the Hawks Nest presented by KC Sports Company. I am your host, Nolan Brooks. We got a full show for you today. Last episode, we talked a lot about the new recruits that KU is getting for the 2022-2023 season. We talked about Hunter Dickinson, Nick Timberlake, Arterio Morris, the plethora of freshmen that are about to enter in on this Bill Self roster. And let me tell you, if you missed that episode, you got to go back and watch it. It is a good one. If you need an update on this KU roster, just kind of a recap if you're missing KU men's basketball right now, go back, give that a watch, listen to it on Anchor, on Spotify. Just go check it out if you need an update on this roster. But that's in the past. There's big news, Jayhawks Nation. Let's fast forward to today. Kevin McCullar, Wednesday afternoon, announced that he is returning to the Kansas Jayhawks, folks. That is a huge re-addition or re-signee, I guess, or returnee is the right word there, to your Kansas Jayhawks men's basketball program. Okay? If you don't know who Kevin McCullar is, 3-year starter at Texas Tech, transferred into KU for the 2022-2023 season. McCullar was not a part of the national championship team, but he was a very heavy contributor in the 2022 season, which is everything that you could ask for out of Kevin McCullar. He came in, immediately became an impact scorer on this team, probably one of the best defenders in the Big 12, and really one of the best players in college basketball, I would say. 2022, he put up 10.7 points per game, 7 rebounds, 2.4 assists, and shot 44% from the field. I mean, that is really all you can ask for from a veteran guy like McCullar. He gets it done. Started 33 games last year for KU, 24 games in 2021 for Texas Tech, 19 games for Texas Tech in the COVID year, and then his freshman year, he only started 6 games, but clearly he's gotten better every year, and so far, he's done everything for KU. He's the defender, he's the elite guy. When you go back and look at it, Bill Self was so ecstatic to get this guy back. I mean, he went into the draft process. For those of you that haven't been following him, he graduated, went into the draft process, didn't quite work out for him, and here he is, returning. Didn't work out, so he thought, you know what? Let's make it one more year out in Lawrence. And he's even quoted saying, "How about one more year, Jayhawk Nation, to be able to play in front of the best fans in the country, to play for the best coach in the nation. I truly believe we have the pieces to hang another banner in the fog. Rock chalk. Let's do it." If that doesn't get you absolutely ecstatic and hyped up, I don't know what will, folks. I don't know what will. This guy is a huge addition to this team, a huge contributor. There's really not much else you can say about him. Okay? Go with that. 6'6" wing out of Texas, again, started 33 games for us, 10.7 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals per game. In his first season in Lawrence, he got all 13 All Big 12 honors, an honorable mention for All League in 2021 and 20. The year semifinalists each of the past 2 seasons. I mean, you pick what you want to talk about here. It's all good. Kevin McCullar is the real deal, folks. Okay? One of the most elite defenders in college basketball. Bill Self saying, this is a big day for Kansas basketball. We've had a lot of good things happen through the recruiting this offseason, but nothing that has transpired this offseason was bigger for KU basketball than having a seasoned veteran like Kevin McCullar return to our program. Folks, I don't know if you paid attention to who KU picked up, but they have Hunter Dickinson in this lineup. DeJuan Harris returned. KJ Adams returned. I mean, there's some pretty big names on this roster and in this lineup, and the biggest one that Bill Self feels is Kevin McCullar. It's a veteran presence that you cannot replace. KU lost, excuse me, a lot of guys this offseason. We looked back at that in episode 1, how we lost Grady Dick to the NBA draft combine and the draft process. He's probably going to be a top 10 pick. Losing Jalen Wilson to the draft process. He's done at KU. Big 12 Player of the Year. He's done. That is a huge loss. That's 2 guys alone. And then not to mention the several guys that transferred out to find new places to get some better minutes elsewhere, as this is going to be a loaded KU lineup. I mean, there's it makes sense. But to have guys like Hunter Dickinson, the number 1 recruit on the transfer portal, come to KU, and then you get Arterio Morris out of Texas, Nick Timberlake out of Towson coming in. To say that Kevin McCullar is the big addition here is lots of praise from Bill Self. That's really all. I don't know how else to put that. Kevin McCullar is everything that you want. Simple as that. Okay? And then with Kevin McCullar back in the fold, I would say KU should be the overall number 1 seed, at least in the preseason. Maybe even going into regular season. Give him at least a preseason ranking. This lineup is too good. I heard one of my buddies say the other day that this was a lineup similar to like Kentucky had in years past, where it was just loaded top to bottom. Everybody's good. Everybody is a contributor on this roster. And when you get guys like Hunter Dickinson in there, returning DeJuan Harris, one of the best assist to turnover ratios in the country at point guard. Nick Timberlake is now he could now play the shooting guard. This lineup is top to bottom stacked. And Kevin McCullar is only going to add to that. Okay? The Jayhawks last season, now they're the number 2, way too early top 25 when they got Hunter Dickinson. McCullar should put them over the top. There's no doubt about that. So, where do we go from here? What does KU need out of this lineup? Well, I would say that, with such a highly productive lineup and so much veteran presence, shouldn't this team be one of the best in recent memory for Bill Self? I'd say so. I mean, what else should they expect? You don't go out and get a lineup this big and this top heavy, not even top heavy, but just good 1 through 5 if you're not expecting big things out of them. I mean, this is a lineup that has probably some of the biggest expectations now. They already had large expectations with their new additions. Kevin McCullar probably, he looked like he wasn't going to be back. I mean, everybody thought he was going to go to the NBA. But now that he's back, I think he could easily be considered the guy on this team. Hunter Dickinson, again, I sound like a broken record here. He's going to be important. Probably, one of the most important. But now Kevin McCullar, I think he should step into the Jalen Wilson role. Maybe not scoring as much because he has so many options around him, but he should be the next guy for Bill Self. He should be that veteran presence to where you want him to step up and make the big plays. Again, he's not going to be a 25 points per game scorer. He's going to sit around that 10 or 11 mark again, but he's going to get, 6 or 7 rebounds maybe a game, a couple steals. He's going to impact everywhere on the floor, not just in scoring. And that's the kind of guy that Bill Self needs to utilize. So, how else do you want him to impact this team other than come out and be the leader. Take the new guys in Dickinson, Timberlake, Arterio Morris, combine that with the returning chemistry he already has with DeJuan Harris and KJ Adams, and you get everything you want out of him. There's no doubt about that. It is almost pointless to not expect him to be that guy. Simple as that. If you want to expect more out of him, maybe he becomes the leading scorer on this team, but he doesn't have to. And I think that's the beauty of this lineup. It's going to be way too good from top to bottom, maybe lacking a little bit on the big men side, but that's been a KU staple for the last couple of years. I mean, let's throw aside the Udoka has a bouquet year and the David McCormick year, which was great. But other than that, I mean, big men have not been the name of the game for Bill Self in this lineup. It's having the 6'8" guys and maybe a couple guards that can handle and dish the ball that make this team complete. That's what you're looking for here. And Kevin McCullar might not be the point guard, but, I mean, if you go back and look at any highlight, the amount of times he handled the ball and became that guy is probably what he's going to be again this year. Or at least that's what the expectations should be, is that he should be another ball handler for KU, but also be the good rebounding guard that he can be, or rebounding smaller forward, I guess, and the elite defensive presence that he is every night. He faced some injuries there at the end, towards the end of the year. He had the back spasms, but I don't see that affecting him going into this season. He's going to be healthy. He went to the draft process, didn't work out, and now he's back. I'd be happy. I really would. Kevin McCullar is everything for this lineup. It just took it over the top. It was already upper echelon lineups that Bill Self has ever had, and now you're getting somebody who takes it all the way over the top. What else do you want? Kevin McCullar is going to make this lineup elite. Simple as that. It was already good. Now it's going to be even better. Sound like a broken record, but get behind it, folks. This is one of the best rosters in recent KU history. History. Yeah, with an H, capital H even. Whatever, however you want to put it. History. This is going to be a very, very solid lineup. So, when we come back, we're going to discuss some more roster changes that could happen with McCullar in, maybe some rotations, how this KU team is going to gel around all the new additions, and now with Kevin McCullar returning to KU for another season behind Bill Self. So stick around. When we get back, we'll talk more Kevin McCullar.
What up, KC? On the heels of yet another Kansas City Super Bowl victory, we have an awesome opportunity for you to broadcast your business to the local Kansas City market. We've created something called Kansas City Sports Company, which is a sports media hub for multiple live shows, all of which cover all the local Kansas City teams. Now, we have 30-second ad spots, 60-second ad spots, we have event sponsorships, studio sponsorships, show sponsorships, and much, much more. This is a great opportunity for you to start early with us and broadcast your business to a very dedicated, very enthusiastic Kansas City audience. Contact me or hit the Contact Us link on our website to learn more about this opportunity.
And welcome back in, folks, to the Hawks Nest, episode 2. Again, I'm your host, Nolan Brooks, and we're presented by KC Sports Company. So today, we're talking Kevin McCullar news. The KU veteran defensive elitist is back for the KU Jayhawks for one more season. Big addition for Bill Self and this coaching staff. They were already going to have a good lineup, 1 through 5, DeJuan Harris, Nick Timberlake, Then you throw in Kevin McCullar, KJ Adams, and Hunter Dickinson, of course, is the big transfer portal addition to this KU roster for the 2023 season. So, we already talked about how Kevin McCullar is going to step in to a huge role in 2023 for the Jayhawks. He is going to take a Jalen Wilson level role this year, I think, or at least he should want to, or he should be presented the opportunity to do so if Hunter Dickinson doesn't do so in his lone year that he should be in Lawrence. So, McCullar, again, not the scoring elite or elite scoring guy that Jalen Wilson might have been or like Ochai Abaji might have been. He's not that guy, but he does a little bit of everything. We discussed that in detail, that he can rebound and he plays very, very good defense, but he can also go out and get you buckets when you need it. Plenty of big shots were made last season for Kevin McCullar. I mean, there's really no other way to put it other than he's going to have a big role for the Jayhawks this season. Bill Self has put his confidence in him, and honestly, that's probably about as good as it gets. If Bill Self looks at you and says, okay, you're going to be the leader on a team that is easily one of the best we've had in recent memory, run with it, I think he'll do just that. He's been a big part of this team, and he's only been here 1 year. Yeah, he wasn't on the national title team of 2021, but that enticed him to come to KU when he was at Texas Tech that year. National championships are made here. Kevin McCullar and the Jayhawks might have fell short last season, but the mentality is there. The play on the court is there. It's all just got to be put together. And now you're going to surround McCullar again with the returnees of DeJuan Harris at point guard and KJ Adams at the 4 spot now. And then you throw on the additions of Timberlake and Dickinson. McCullar should have plenty of confidence going into the year. So, that being said, where do we start with what the starting 5 is going to be? I mean, I've said it enough, but it should be pretty obvious who the starting 5 is going into the season, right? I mean, DeJuan Harris at the 1. Locked in. There's nobody else. Nick Timberlake will now slide from the 3 spot to the 2 guard spot. Kevin McCullar at the 3. KJ Adams will now move from the 5 spot to 4 and get to be a true power forward with his speed and his leaping ability. And then you put the big man, Hunter Dickinson, down at the 5. KJ Adams played a lot of the starting 5 spot last year, and he lacked the size. But there's nothing wrong with that. With his leaping ability, he can keep up with anybody. Now Dickinson takes the pressure off there. With McCullar now in this lineup, that takes the pressure off of Nick Timberlake to maybe play the 3 spot and guard some of the bigger forwards or guards that you're going to see at that 3 spot in the NCAA. Timberlake, I think, fits a whole lot better at the 2 spot. He's such a pure shooter that I think he'll thrive better there. And then, of course, DeJuan Harris basically owns the point guard role and is one of the best in the NCAA. One of the best assist to turnover ratios. There's nothing else you can ask from DeJuan. He's going to be one of our big leaders this year. Kevin McCullar fits right in at the 3 spot. That's where he was last year. Don't change anything for him other than, hey, Kevin, you have a bigger role now, but we still need you to be that defensive presence. We still need you to be a big bucket guy, but just kind of spread the wealth. Make this team more complete, or keep it at that complete level now that you have pieces around you. And KU had plenty of pieces last season. They really did. Again, the 2020 or 2022 roster was not bad. DeJuan Harris at the point guard, Grady Dick, Kevin McCullar, KJ Adams, and then we had a few mix and matches there of Zach Clements and Ernest Uday. I mean, you really, and of course Jalen Wilson. I can't believe I just didn't say Jalen Wilson's name. But you had a good lineup last year, and now I'd argue to say it's even better this year. That starting five for 2023, a projected starting five that I said of Harris, Timberlake, McCullar, Adams, and Dickinson. I don't know how you can argue against it. I feel really bad because I really love that 2022 team. That's one of the better shooting teams in Bill Self history. And now we're switching gears with McCullars coming back. This is going to be a defensive-minded team, but they can also score 100 on you any night you want. McCullars needs to be that triple-double threat every night at playing the 3 spot. And I think he could easily do that. This team is going to want to thrive around him and make him the leader, because Hunter Dickinson is not going to have to do it every night. At Michigan, that's what he had to do. He had to be that guy every night, and now he doesn't. I think Kevin McCullar should step up and be the head honcho on a starting 5 that features all these talented players. There's too much scoring to go around. DeJuan Harris can put up 10 a night. Nick Timberlake could easily put up 10 to 15 a night. And same with Dickinson. And then KJ Adams gave us glimpses last year that he is one of the more efficient big men in the NCAA when he gets the opportunity. And I think that's going to be big. Kevin McCullar might not have to take as many clutch time shots as he did last year. And that's okay. That is A-okay. I think that's where he would thrive, is not as many big-time shots, but just as big of a role, if not bigger. So I think this is going to be a good opportunity for him. And I think this is a starting 5 that will benefit everybody, which is scary. That the roster from last year being as good as it was and being what it was is a thing of the past, and this 2023 roster is going to trump that, which is crazy. It is crazy. I don't know what Bill Self was doing. I don't know how he managed it, but clearly he's a mastermind here. You just got better, and bringing McCullars back was the cherry on top. The candles on the cake are lit. The trophy at the end of the season. The champagne celebration when you win it all. Kevin McCullar is that. And that's why he's back. He saw what Bill Self and his coaching staff were building in the offseason, and I think he just couldn't resist. I think he could build his draft prospect even more now. He's going to become a more complete player. And I think that's what Bill Self wanted out of him. I think that's what he expects now with him returning. Become the complete player like Jalen Wilson did, like Ochai Agbaji did. Take your opportunity with all of these pieces around you and become what we know you truly are out here in Lawrence. No other way to put it. Kevin McCullar is going to be the leader of this team in 2023. Simple as that. Hunter Dickinson is going to add what he adds. He's going to be great. There's no worry there. KJ is going to be great as well. I think KJ is going to thrive. in the starting five. KJ is going to have more opportunities to kind of spread the floor a little bit more, run more pick and rolls, and not have to worry about being the main rebounder and main defensive guy. I think that's going to be great for him. Of course, we talked about what McCullars is going to do. Nick Timberlake is going to be another good spot-up shooter for Bill Self. We probably didn't think it'd get any better after how Grady Dick played as a freshman, but now you bring in a veteran in Nick Timberlake, who was shooting 42% from three last year. No way, man. No way he doesn't do great. He's going to be a spot-up shooter and just sit out there. He's going to look like Klay Thompson for the Golden State Warriors. Just kind of camp out there. Just what else can you ask for? What else can you ask for? Okay. Then we go to DeJuan Harris, of course. DeJuan's going to be that guy. He's going to be probably one of the best assist-to-turnover ratio guards again in the country. And then he's maybe not scoring as much as he did last year, but that's not a bad thing. I think that'll benefit him. He's going to have plenty of opportunities to assist. I mean, he's got all the guys around him that are going to make him better, and I think that's all he really needs to thrive in this offense. So, that was a lot to unpack just because Kevin McCullar came back. I mean, very rarely do you have a roster this good and then you add a veteran like this and it shakes things up that much. Arterio Morris will come off the bench, but now Kevin McCullar has made this team that much better. What else can you ask for, Jayhawk Nation? What else can you ask for? This team needs to be elite in 2023. They need to smoke everybody in the Big 12. The best conference in college basketball, hands down. No argument about it. That's a conversation for another day. KU needs to smoke everybody this year when you have a roster this good from top to bottom. Make it happen. And I think the expectations are through the roof for this KU squad going into 2023. Buckle in, folks. Buckle in. Okay? It's going to be an exciting 2023-2024 KU men's basketball season. So, that being said, to wrap things up, go check out episode 1 if you haven't. We talked about all the recruits, all the new additions for KU basketball. And just continue to tune in every episode. We're going to talk some KU football here soon. We're going to talk some KU women's basketball. Some baseball might be on the way. I mean, the Hawks Nest is your one-stop shop for everything KU sports right now, man. Tune in every week, and I promise you will not be disappointed. Get those KU tickets if you can. And as always, I'm Nolan Brooks for the Hawks Nest, presented by Casey Sports Company. We'll see you next time.